Hi, I'm Paul Bono, and welcome to pianowithwillie.com. In this lesson, we're going to talk about some advanced boogie-woogie concepts. So you are going to learn, and you're going to get the sheet music provided to you for everything I just played. And this is the arrangement that we're going to study sort of as the vehicle in this lesson that we're going to use to explore these concepts. But unlike a lot of other lessons that you might have seen, we're not going to go through and spend a lot of time working on individual notes measure by measure. Because in this lesson, being an advanced lesson, what I really want to discuss are the concepts that build this arrangement. So again, the notes individually, measure by measure, not how we're going to approach this lesson. We're going to go through and dissect the parts. So we're going to look at the left hand. We're going to talk about what's going on in that left hand bass line. And then we're going to look at the right hand. And we're going to talk about what's going on in those right hand riffs that I'm playing. So, you know, the arrangement had an intro, chorus 1, chorus 2, and then an ending, or a couple endings actually. And so we're going to look at the riffs, the two riffs primarily that made up chorus 1 and chorus 2. We're going to talk about, you know, what they are, how they're constructed, how to transpose them, or how to refit them over different chords as opposed to actually transposing. What the difference is. What's the difference between transposing and sort of just reworking or refitting, manipulating it to work over another chord. And we're going to talk about some ways to take a basic lick. You know, that was primarily the lick that the entire first chorus was based upon, and add some sort of like boogie-woogie ornamentation that makes it sound a little flashier to play. We're also going to go through, and I'm going to show you a lot of the exercises that I do when I'm trying to increase my speed. So a style of music like this, it's very important that you're able to play it, you know, competently at a quick tempo. So using the metronome becomes very important. So I'll show you some of the exercises that I do to work on my dexterity, to work on my speed, to increase my speed. And then basically, like, you know, I'm going to also show you just how to establish the groove and how important it is, you know, how exposed you are when you try to play at slow tempos. I was kind of trying to play some of these things that I thought I knew at a slower tempo, and I realized, wow, playing at a slow tempo really exposes your weaknesses. And in the last chapter, I'm going to show you, I kind of crammed in a couple different endings all at the same time. So I tried to force a couple different endings in there, mostly so that we have something to talk about in the lesson, and I can show you, you know, those variations on those endings and how to use them, not just here, of course, but in other parts of your playing. And that is the thrust of this lesson, really, is not to get you playing this one arrangement. That would be great, and that is one of the goals. But really, it's to discuss these concepts and make them understandable to you so that you have more tools in your tool belt to go out and apply these concepts to whatever else you might be working on, or whatever else you might want to learn how to play, or whatever else you might be listening to and wondering what's going on the record. These concepts are meant to make you better at boogie-woogie playing in general, but across your entire sort of jazz exploration landscape. So I'm excited to get started, and I'll see you inside the lesson. And we're just going to outline the major triad. Now I'm and this is root position, right? But I'm doubling that D down the octave, and I'm giving that little turn that we talked about up top. Now I'm also adding one other little element, which is I'm grace noting off that B flat. And then the last part of it, so that, you know, these are all the little parts that we're sprinkling in to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more interesting. The last thing is, when I finish the rip, you know, ripping it down to this D, I go back up and I reset by playing this chord. Right, just like the C and the E, or, you know, the fourth and the sixth, as it were.